Welcome back to Good Evening KU. I'm Mary.
And I'm Jacob.
So we have some breaking news for you. The NCAA selection show just finished, and the KU soccer team is a number 3 seed, and we're going to take a look now.
For the first time since 2004, Kansas has made back-to-back tournaments, and they arrived not only as Big 12 champs, but a 3 seed as well for the reward. It was the first Big 12 title in program history, besting TCU 1-0, and you can still hear the party taking place in Lawrence. And that will be where the game takes place with first-round matchup Iowa. The Hawkeyes' at-large berth gives them just their second ever tournament appearance.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. I'm not into soccer very much now. I used to play soccer a lot when I was like younger kid, but not very I didn't get competitive at all in high school or anything. But that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm okay watching it. I don't want to play it. New news on sports teams at KU. They just added the esports team.
Yeah, esports has been added to KU for a certain video game called League of Legends. That they League of Legends is a popular MMO, it's strategy based game, and it's really competitive in a lot of tournaments and competitions that are a lot of really good players in it, and surprisingly KU would add that to
team.
because there's probably a lot of players that play it, and I've personally I've tried it a few times, but just those kind of games aren't really my style. But I've always found it interesting, and I'm glad that KU has added that as an official, and I would be excited to see if there was when they would actually there would be a way to watch those when those kind of live things would be watching it be interesting.
For sure. I've never been into video games that much. Do you know what other games they play other than League of Legends?
Well, I don't know when KU will add more games, but I guess esports has pretty much any popular first person as most shooters that that are competitive to CS:GO is another big one, Counter Strike, so it's another first person shooter that has had a lot of competitive.
Yeah. And
Fortnite is another big one. So many competitions and tournaments that are being involved in that game, and that's really exciting. That
is exciting.
That I wouldn't think that would
happen here. I know they're expanding. I don't know a whole lot about video games. I don't play it, but
I'm more the expert.
There you go. That's why I'm asking you all these questions. I have no idea, but I mean it's exciting because they're expanding to new things. You know.
And also, other news, jumping off from
sports and video games
to more entertainment stuff. Disney, is this week is actually tomorrow. Is launching its Disney Plus streaming service, which is
huge.
Really a lot of people are excited about it. For mostly Disney fans who love most of the movies Pixar, and they're releasing it tomorrow, and we'll have pretty much every single Disney movie ever released.
Marvel
and pretty much anything that Disney owns. So of course it will have even though with Star Wars the first Star movies weren't owned by Disney, but the latest ones are, but they'll still have the the older movies on there available, and so anything Marvel related, and also I guess National Geographic documentaries, and
I love those.
I guess will be on too, and they'll also have their own original shows. The first there's only gonna be a couple. That one is a Star Wars live action show called The Mandalorian is the biggest the one that most people are excited for. It's just a big budget
productions.
Production.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Exciting.
I'm really excited, but it's that's busy. A lot of people are going to be watching TV this week.
Oh yeah, it's a concentration of all of your childhood in one day. It's just coming at you, in your face. I think that's all we have for right now. We will see you soon.
For students searching for a way to stay active in an outdoorsy way, the City of Lawrence has bike trails running in every direction, and with the new bike share program, we can stay in shape as we tour the sights of our beautiful city. Clinton Lake is only a short 30-minute bike ride away from Daisy Hill and has the most incredible sunset location in all of Lawrence. Walking campus may give you the KU calves, but biking can give you the KU thighs. Bike Lawrence today.
Hello and welcome back to Good Evening KU. I'm Major in Campa here with our guest today, Michelle Tinoco, who's also a fellow atmospheric science major. So Michelle, what piqued your interest to major in atmospheric science?
Well, as a kid, I used to watch the Weather Channel consistently instead of, watching Disney Channel like a regular child. So, I love the weather, just sitting in there watching the severe weather tornadoes on camera.
That's definitely a good time in my opinion. Now, out of every season, what's your favorite season?
Well, my favorite season to experience would be winter. I love the cold, I love the snow, but more importantly, it's because you can layer up. When you're warm, you can't exactly take off your clothes, you know?
Not legally anyway, but yes.
Well, not legally, so that's why I like winter. But I do love the spring, and I love severe weather, especially tornadoes.
I think my favorite season's springtime just because you get that cold and warm, different air masses, and then there is severe weather season, so tornadoes are my favorite form of
Have you seen a tornado?
I have when I was a baby. I was in a tornado in 1999, but that's way too far. I can't remember. But in recent times, since I actually understand weather now, I haven't seen one, but I would like to. So do you storm chase, or would you like to?
I would love to storm chase in the spring. Hopefully we can all get our classmates together and not end up down the wrong road,
That would be bad, but we'll definitely have to take Nathan's car because I don't want our cars being damaged by hail.
He can take that damage, we can't.
That's true. That's true. So today, we're in the midst of an Arctic blast, all this cold air from Canada, very winter-like, mid-January-like temperatures. How are you liking it? Do you like it or do you hate it?
I love this weather. It is a little chilly and the wind didn't help. Like walking down Jayhawk Boulevard, my eyes just started crying. So, kind of felt really awkward walking through Jayhawk and people kind of looking at me as if I was having some meltdown, but in reality, I kind of was.
Well, with our courses, we basically have every class together. So, how are the classes going for you?
They're decent. At this point, I just care about passing.
I feel that.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize how much math and physics and science go into atmospheric science. So, it can be really challenging at times. And I know it's been really hard getting homework done, but you seem to manage fine.
I like to think I do. When we went to get help today with our professor, I felt so smart. He actually said I got it right for once. We're always failing the exams. Nobody passed our last exam, so that goes to show how difficult it is.
Not one person.
Not one person.
There's a lot of tears that exam, but at least it's done with.
Yeah, at this point we're like almost done.
Yes, the meteorologist I interned for, she was talking about all the cold weather that we're having, but do you like the cold?
Yes, I actually love this kind of weather. It's perfect for running, believe it or not. Because once you start sweating underneath the jacket, once you take it off and the breeze hits you, it's just amazing. So, yeah.
I'm sorry, you lost me at running. I don't do that unless it's an emergency. Well, maybe not even then, but.
Maybe you're jogging.
Only if I'm maybe late to class. If then, it's just, might as well stop and get a coffee, right?
If you're late, you might as well be late for good reasons,
Have a good reason, that coffee. Yeah. Especially to our classes, it's just what's the point?
Especially Michell's class, our dynamic class.
Dynamic, yes. That's one of the hardest classes we have. But, this cold air, will it be sticking around for very much longer? We'll see. Check back with our forecast here shortly.
From adversity, we rose. We made history and became pioneers, voyagers, champions, Jayhawks. And when our chant rises, haunting and hallowed, Jayhawks are telling the world what's near. victory.
Welcome back. I'm Nicole.
And I'm Kat, and this is your Good Evening KU News Update. Buffalo Wild Wings manager died in the Boston area after being exposed to 2 cleaning agents that created toxic fumes in the restaurant's kitchen. The fumes also left 11 employees and 2 customers with serious injuries. The fumes were the result of a mixture of bleach and acid that one of the employees put together to clean the kitchen floor. An investigation is currently underway.
3 people, including a suspect, were shot outside the Players Sports Bar on Sunday night. Police say the shooting took place at around 2 a.m. in the parking lot. The 2 victims are expected to recover while the suspect was airlifted by helicopter to Kansas City with life-threatening injuries. The circumstances of the incident are still unknown.
Hundreds of people showed up for Lawrence's Veterans Day Parade on Mass Street on Saturday. Additional ceremonies honored veterans in the 3rd annual parade since the Lawrence Veterans Day Parade Association reinstated the event after nearly a 50-year absence.
Politicians, celebrities, and thousands of people across the country are rallying to prevent the execution of death row inmate Rodney Reed. Reed has been on death row since 1998 for a murder that many experts believe he did not commit. Pressure is mounting on Texas Governor Greg Abbott to exonerate Reed. The execution is scheduled for November 20th.
The Kansas soccer team won the Big 12 tournament championship yesterday in Kansas City with a 1-0 victory over TCU. Forward Mandy Duggan scored a goal in the 55th minute, and goalie Sarah Peters recorded her second shutout of the tournament. With the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament, the Jayhawks will host Iowa on Saturday at 5 p.m. at Rock Chalk Park.
And both the men's and women's basketball teams are off to a quick start. After falling to Duke in the Champions Classic, the men's team bounced back with a 74-62 win over North Carolina, Greensboro on Friday. Freshman Holly Kersgeter scored 24 points to help the women open their season with an 84-72 win over Indiana State, followed by a crushing 91-50 victory over Illinois Chicago yesterday in Allen Fieldhouse. Both teams will play at home again this week.
Freshman guard Jalen Wilson played all of 2.5 minutes this season before breaking his ankle. He will be out for 3 months, but head coach Bill Self says there's no plans for lifting the red shirt from Mitch Lightfoot.
If you get Mitch, it doesn't help our situation. Now you've got 4 or 5 men as opposed to 3. So that's not going to help us defend on the perimeter. You know, if one of them were to go down, then I think it probably would. But no, I don't think that's going to play a factor right now, Gary.
And that will wrap it up for today's news update. After the break, Adrian will be here with the weather.
Good evening, KU. I'm Adrian Campa here with your weather forecast. Now, taking a look at current weather, right now we have a temperature of 22 degrees, very cold out, with some partly cloudy skies and some gusty winds. Now, these winds are from the north at 20 miles an hour, and when you factor that wind in, that's giving us a feels-like temperature, or wind chill, of 7 degrees, so very cold out. And this trend is going to continue through the evening, getting down to 15 degrees at 9 p.m., and our wind should remain from the north, but backing off a bit to around 10 miles an hour at 9 p.m. And for tonight, a low temperature. I'm going to forecast for the single digits tonight. A low of 9 degrees, mostly clear skies, and very cold conditions. Our winds are going to remain from the north at 10 to 15 miles an hour. But the good news is no chance of precip. We're done with our chances of precip. That snow that we had earlier this morning has since moved out, and we're not expecting any more. But for tomorrow, this is our forecasted wind chills. You can take a look at this map and see where the little Jayhawk is. This is where we are. This purple color that's invading northeast Kansas rather, those are wind chills in the negatives. So tomorrow morning, as you're walking to class, we could actually have some wind chills in the negatives, like around -1, -2. So you definitely want to be bundled up, have several layers on since it's going to be brutally cold tomorrow. The coldest day we've seen so far this year. Now for tomorrow, we're expecting a high temperature of 33 degrees, mainly sunny skies with some light winds from the south. They're switching directions, bringing some warmer air up, so we will get above freezing, but barely. Only expecting a temperature of 33 degrees. So again, Still going to be cold, especially after tomorrow morning, so you'll want to keep those layers handy. And our extended forecast, Wednesday is when we start to warm up. Wednesday should be mostly cloudy, but a high of 46, so finally getting back into the 40s. Thursday, 43, then Friday, 55, so back into the 50s this weekend. And Saturday, 56 degrees, and then nearing 61 on Monday. So today was a very cold Veterans Day, but I hope everybody enjoyed the holiday, even though we all had classes today. I know some other colleges, they had the day off, but KU, we didn't. But it was a very cold and snowy start to the holiday. But just know that there are warmer temperatures expected. But if you take a look at our low temperatures, we're not going to get above freezing until Saturday night into Sunday morning for our low temperatures. So for the remainder of the week, as we wake up for our morning time, it's going to still be very cold. So keep those coats handy for the morning. But as we get through the week, you can see you'll start to be able to take off some layers. Well, that's all we have for you today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.